Okay, I lied earlier when I said I rewatched all of Nolan's movies for this video. That wasn't true. I've seen Tenet twice in theaters and once at home with the Big Picture podcast commentary playing on the background. And I simply couldn't do it again. I took a page out of Nolan's book and thought, you know what? Time is pretty awesome. I value mine. I'm going to skip this one. I've been genuinely baffled by the reappraisal this movie has gotten over the last few years. People talk about it like it's this wildly innovative masterpiece, but to me, it's just a much worse version of Inception. Like, way worse. The characters are weak outside of Pattinson. The emotional core barely exists, again, outside of Pattinson. And the dialogue and sound mix are a mess. And on top of all that, I just don't find the whole inversion concept very compelling. Okay, sure, there's a few cool set pieces. I like the opening sequence, and crashing a 747 into a building is undeniably awesome, but the inversion itself, the car chase, even this hallway fight, honestly, I find most of it pretty underwhelming. Nolan could have dreamed much bigger with this idea. Why does The Matrix, a movie that came out over 25 years earlier, still have more mind-blowing action choreography than Tenet? And if your answer is, well, it's The Matrix. Okay, fair enough. But if Nolan really is the GOAT, why doesn't his big inversion gimmick produce action that's just as revolutionary? I think what annoys me most, though, is that line. Don't try to understand it, feel it. Fans have latched onto that as if Nolan invented the idea of a vibe movie. We've always had movies where you're supposed to stop worrying about every little detail and just go with it. We even have a term for it, suspension of disbelief. And anyways, the don't try to understand it, feel it philosophy applies much better to Inception, Interstellar, and Dunkirk than it does to Tenet. Those movies all have flaws, but they're so emotionally engaging, I'm happy to overlook them. Tenet asked me to do the same thing without giving me nearly enough in return. That's the end of my rant. I've been waiting to get that off my chest for years, apparently. Suffice to say, I still think Tenet sucks, and I don't really see the point of it when Nolan already made a much better version of this movie with Inception. This one's headed straight for the bottom.